Welcome to another episode coming at you from chooseyourrelationships.com, author of Love Can't Wait, which can be found on amazon.com. Yes, sir. It's official. Like a referee with a whistle. So, you know, like, share the video. Even if you listen to the playback, share the video as well. Because this is something that I've never talked about. And, I think this is something that a lot of people can learn from, men and women, especially men. And, this channel is mainly about men. And men usually show up. Most men usually watch my videos. So when I speak, I'm speaking from a man's point of view, even though women can learn as well. So if you've been around for a while, or maybe you just got here a couple months ago, you know that I have a military background. I used to be in the Navy. So, I've traveled the world. And even after I got out the Navy, I still continue to travel. But before I went in the Navy, I didn't really go anywhere away from my parents. I mean, I've been to, New York, Florida, North Carolina with my parents growing up. But when I flew to Chicago for the first time to do my boot camp training in the Navy, that was my first time leaving my parents. First time from that distance anyway. Because, I'm from South Carolina. I'm from the Myrtle Beach, Georgetown area. So that's a 2-hour flight. At the time it was a 2-hour flight. And I think it still is. So to me, flying to a big city from a small town, that was kind of like, a new experience for me. And, it was kind of like, it kind of changed my life in a lot of different ways. Changed my life on how I view relationships and how I view the world. And there's a reason why I never talk about my military experience and my time in the military. Because a lot of people, a lot of things they wouldn't believe, number one, and they probably wouldn't understand. And then you have some people, they just don't want to believe it. They just don't, they're like in denial. It's kind of weird how that happens for a lot of people. But the one thing that I kind of regret being in the Navy is that, and I heard Dick Gregory said this years ago. He said, once you put the magic glasses on, you can never take it off. So what does that really mean? What that really means is once you see things for what it really is, you can never go back. I could never be who I was before I went in the Navy. That's over. That way of just kind of walking around and just kind of being in limbo and accepting things, for the way I want it to be and not the way it really is. At that point, if I was to walk around and act like things didn't exist and act like a simp, that would be unacceptable to this day, in this day and time, for me personally. And if I was to walk around and, and make a bunch of excuses, that's unacceptable today for me, because I know better. I've seen different things. I've been behind the scenes. I've been around people that were making millions of dollars. I've been around people that were making 100,000 every 30 days for 5 years straight. 200,000 every 45 days for 3 years straight. I've been around people that made $1 million a month. I've seen what happens. I see what women do if they're in the presence of certain guys. So if I was to come on here or walk out into the world and act and kiss woman's ass and act like, oh, they ain't really like that, that would be unacceptable, because I know better. And I have friends and people that know me, that follow me in real life on here. They would call me out, because when I speak, I'm speaking for us. I'm not just speaking for me, because people that follow me, they've been knowing me since I've been in the Navy. They've been knowing me since college, since my college days, since my Navy days. So they would know if I'm out of pocket or not. If I was to say something that's just flat out not true, So being in the Navy, I don't know if you know or not, you travel a lot. If you happen to be stationed overseas, especially, you're going to really travel. You're going to travel much more versus being stateside. So after boot camp, after my training, after about 6 months, I found out that I was being stationed in Japan, Yokosuka, Japan. Now you got to keep in mind, I ain't never been outside the country at the time. Furthest I ever been was Florida, in New York with my parents. And now you telling me I'm going to be in another country like Japan, which is like what, 7,000 miles away. I don't know anything about Japan at the time. I know they have their own language. I don't even necessarily know where Japan is located. I have no type of, I just don't know where Japan is located. You got to realize at this time, you couldn't really look up, you couldn't go to Google and type in where's Japan at the time. No, this is the 90s. This is the like mid 90s. You could not go to websites and do research like you do today. So you got to think about it. This is 26 years ago. 28 years ago. This is 28 years ago. You cannot find and get research like we do today. And I think a lot of people take that for granted. So I found out that I'm going to Japan. That shit blew my mind. I had mixed emotions. I was scared. I was excited. I was curious. I had mixed emotions, man. I didn't really know what to think. So now I get 2 weeks to go home. spend time with my family and tell them where I'm being stationed at. And when I go, my first day going home, my parents threw me my parents and my aunts threw me a surprise birthday party. Well, not birthday party, but it was a surprise party, at the time. And that was cool, because my parents, mainly my mom, was proud of me because before I went in the Navy, I was really giving my mom was kind of disappointed in me because I dropped out of college. I didn't want to do that shit no more. And I came back home. I could have, now I did have some paperwork problems when I was in school, but I could have easily transferred and went someplace else. But I was like, man, I don't want to do this shit no more. And I ended up coming back home. And I was like, I didn't really know what to do. I didn't really know if I wanted to work a job, and I didn't even know where to go to get a job at the time because I've worked summer jobs in the past during the summer and even after I graduated from high school, and I hated them damn jobs. I just got tired of the racial politics and all that bullshit. So I already knew what the job market was at the time. And I just could not mentally put up with all that bullshit, at these jobs. And still to this day, it hasn't changed. It's the same old bullshit, most of these jobs. And I didn't have the patience. I mean, I really didn't have the patience back then. But I was like, back when I was younger, you could easily set me off, So my mom was disappointed in me. And my dad, he didn't really have much to say, So she was proud of me that I went in the Navy and made something of myself. And I came back a better man, but I was different. The reason why I was different, because I was being conditioned to see things in the world very different compared to how I grew up. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but it was kind of, the shit blew my mind. I realized that most of the shit we learn in school, it don't really work that way in real life. Like I give you an example. Let's take politics, for example. It doesn't really work the way they say it is, as far as how people get into office. Even on a local level, especially on a federal level, it doesn't really work the way they make it out to be. It's very seductive and persuasive how they project the whole politics game on television. It doesn't really work that way in real life. People don't really, they'll make it seem like, hey, vote for me. If you give me enough votes, I'll become the next president of the United States. It doesn't really work that way. And I didn't know this until I went in the Navy. It doesn't really work. It's not that simple. Now the votes do mean something, but they don't necessarily count. The electoral college votes, yeah, that counts. But they make it. They have the masses of people they get them all pumped up and have them thinking something else that it don't really matter what the masses of people think in most cases, because they don't really have no power to do anything. I'm talking on a federal level now. I mean, most people that and I know don't have no clout and don't have no power to change anything in this country. That's just the truth. And that a lot of people might not like that, but that's really the truth. Now, on a local level, yeah, you can do something on a local level, because you can actually, in some of these small towns, you can actually get to know some of these local officials, But in a big city like Atlanta, New York, man, the chances of you getting to know some of these people is slim to none. And these big corporations are going to put money in their pockets. So you're not going to really be able to do anything unless you grease them pockets. Unless you as an individual can afford to pay them. That's how this whole politics usually works. It's driven by money. It's money driven, But if you tell some people that, they'll kind of look at you kind of strange, like, well, what about my vote? What about it? If your vote is not being backed by money, it doesn't really matter. And people look at you like kind of strange, like, and that's usually the end of it right there. They'll move on and I'll move on. So, and then, I can go on and on and on. Different areas of activities where, I can go into relationships. I can go into relationships. When I first went to Japan, and even before I went to Japan, I realized that because we used to have, on the weekends, we used to get passes to go downtown Chicago. So, we used to go to the bars, go to the bar and grill, and go to the clubs. You just have a good time, And I realized I used to see how women used to throw themselves at guys. I'm talking like white women, black women, Asian women, Spanish speaking women, it didn't fucking matter, I've seen, I say that the being in the Navy is like the closest thing to being a celebrity. And the reason why I say that, because I've been around all these guys in all these branches. And the way these damn women act when they see Navy guys in a uniform, this shit is incredible, man. I've never seen anything like it until I went in the Navy. Now, I've been around football players when I was in college, football and basketball players in college. But no, it's not. It's a different level. It's a different level. Now, what I would say is this. The athletes probably get more action with much more girls. But that's usually behind the scenes. It's usually when the doors close, right? But as far as being in the Navy in uniform, not only did women want to be with these guys when the door closed, they was willing to be seen with these guys in public. See, a lot of women, they don't necessarily care to be seen with athletes in public. Oh, they'll fuck you. But, a lot of them women ain't really trying to be seen with a lot of these athletes like that. You can run train on a lot of these women. You have gangbang athlete football players, they'll have 2-3 women have an orgy. But them same women, they ain't trying to be seen with you in public. But in the Navy, oh man, oh yeah, you can get it all. You know, I mean, and I've noticed that they forgot that I was a black male once I had on that uniform. It's like, okay, I know you're black, but it's whatever. So I learned a valuable lesson. Sometimes it's what's behind you that they're attracted to, not so much what's in front of them. Yes, sir. Yeah, I've learned a very valuable lesson, man. So now I go to Japan. Completely different world. People look at things completely different. The women are conditioned, raised to be different. And the first year, I had a very difficult time, I have to admit. Because I didn't speak the language, of course, and I didn't really understand them. They're kind of the opposite of how we see things here in the West. It's kind of like, to me, it doesn't make any sense, and it still don't make no sense to this day. But to them, that's all they know, and it's not about what makes sense all the time. And it's not about being productive all the time. For most Japanese people, it's not really about getting things done. It's about being in harmony. It's about keeping the peace for them more than anything, right? It's so I'm like, okay, we can be. This is my way of thinking at the time now. This is my talking. I'm like, okay, we can still be in harmony and keep the peace, but and still get shit done and still be productive. But they don't see it that way. No, the being productive, that comes last. And everything moves slow. And everybody very I'm not going to even say they're very sociable. I'm not going to really say they socialize a lot. Not necessarily. They just get together. They eat together. But they're not. And when they leave, hey, I see you the next time, whatever that is. And being over there in Japan, approaching women on the sidewalk or approaching women out in the street is like forbidden. So what I did is ask a woman for directions, and that's how I got past that. And that it's like talking to people out in the street is not like something that Japanese people do. I mean, if they see you, they'll say hi, how you doing, or whatever. But a stranger, that's not. They don't meet out in the street. That's not really something that they do. This is why, But there's always ways to get over. What I did is I asked the most attractive woman for directions, and then I followed up with something else. That's how I kind of got around that. So I broke a lot of rules over there because I'm from the West. I'm over here by myself. I don't know anybody. I'm already having a hard time as it is. I don't speak the language. And most Japanese people, they take English in high school, but still don't speak. How the hell you take English in high school and still don't speak worth a damn? Japan is probably the first and probably the only Well, it's one of them anyway. Probably one of the countries that, you know, take English in high school, but they still don't speak worth a damn. I don't know any other. Most other countries are not like that. You know, it's just I don't. It's weird. You know. So now I'm basically trying to get established in a new place like Japan, right? So what happened is I met this. I started meeting people that I shouldn't have been around. You know, but I didn't know this. I'm green. I don't know who I'm supposed to be around. I don't know who's good, bad at this point. I don't know. I didn't care. I just knew that I'm over here for 3.5 years. I got to make the best of this at this point, you know. And at one point, I was trying to find a way to get kicked out the Navy. That's I was plotting a scheme and trying to find a way to get kicked out the Navy at the time. But at the same time, I was like, if I get kicked out the Navy and have to go back home, what the hell am I gonna do? And I couldn't come up with an answer. What the hell am I going to do once I get kicked out the Navy? I couldn't come up with an answer, so I just said, hey, maybe I should just get out of that way of thinking. So I was like, okay, I got to make the best of this shit. So after about 6 months of getting past that, basically I just came to the conclusion that I got to make the best of this shit. So I started. So I went to Tokyo. Now, the Navy base is probably like an hour train ride from Tokyo at the time. So I was like, yo, I got to get on this train because I don't know. And keep in mind, I ain't never been on a train. I ain't never been on a train in my life. I ain't never rode no train. I don't really know how this shit operates. You know, I don't even know how to buy a ticket. I know where the machine at, but so I'm like, I'll figure it out. And somebody told me, always keep this in mind. If you get lost, just ask the best looking Japanese woman you see. Or any woman at that. You ain't gotta be Japanese, just any woman. You know, because in Tokyo, I mean, especially in Tokyo, but in Japan, just in general, there's people from everywhere. But Tokyo is like New York City. It's people from all over the world, basically, in Tokyo. It's kind of like Manhattan. You know, it's the same type of deal, really. It's about the same. You know, there's a lot of similarities between Tokyo and New York City. So I get on this train. I started meeting all these people. I started going to the clubs. I'm meeting some characters at the time, boy. I'm telling you, some of these people I should never been around. But I said, look, I got to make the best of this. I have to learn from these people, you know. So I'm starting meeting some Japanese girls that's locally around the base, which aren't the best women in the world. Because if you know anything about the military bases, the women that's usually outside the base, they aren't really the best women in the world. Most of them,
she belongs to the streets.
Yeah, most of them, they belong to the streets. And so I was like, but I did had a good relationship with one girl that was just outside the base. But she ended up getting married, and that was the end of that. But by this time, I'm in my second year. So I started hanging out, meeting all these people in Tokyo, meeting these women. I messed around and met a rich Japanese woman. Well, her family was rich anyway. You know what I'm saying? So and and she was treating me like never. I never been treated by a woman like this in my life. You know, she used to pander and cater to me, and I didn't really understand. I didn't have a problem with it. Like, hey, don't get it twisted now. I ain't had a problem with it, you know. But I just never had a woman treating me like this before. And you got to think about it. I'm 21 at the time. I don't have a lot of experience with women anyway, you know. So I'm like, I'm gonna just let it play out. I like it, you know. So she used to rub my back. She used to and she used to take me to spas, and she used to rub my feet, and she used to do all type of extracurricular activities that I just never had done before. And I thought it was cool. And I started meeting more women like that. And I figured out over time that this is just how it is over here in Japan. So I'm like, damn, it's totally different. Now, do some guys get the same treatment in America? Yeah, but it ain't the average dude. You know, that's just, it is what it is. So now, being in the Navy, you know, I'm on an aircraft carrier at the time. And we started going to places like Australia, Thailand, Guam, Hawaii, Korea, where else? Dubai, Bahrain, where else? We hit, now when we go to Australia, we hitting 2-3 cities: Perth, Sydney, the Gold Coast. We hitting 3-4 cities in Australia. When we go to Thailand, we hitting 2-3 cities: Pattaya Beach, and I forgot the other city, other town. We hitting 2-3 cities. Then we going to Hong Kong. We're everywhere, man. And we hitting these different countries 2-3 times in a 3-4 month span, being out in the sea on an aircraft carrier at the time. So, and when we hit these countries, we go into multiple cities, multiple ports. So, you know, I'm meeting women. I'm talking like, these are the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my damn life. I've seen women like this on fucking videos, but I'm seeing it in real life now. I'm 21 years. I ain't never seen no shit like this. I ain't never seen no women like this. I'm 21 years old. You know, what do you expect me to do? I don't know what to think. I'm just having a good time with my friends, you know, and I'm kind of in the moment. And, you know, I think the first place we went from Japan was Thailand. Now, when I went to Thailand, people was saying a lot of different things or whatever. You know, they're talking about, hey, you can, you know, there's a street where you can buy girls and all that shit, but I ain't into that shit, right? So I'm looking for, like, I think our first place that we went to was a bar, right? And so I was basically, let's have a couple of drinks, man, have a good time. So we went to the club and all that shit. So I ended up meeting a girl there, and I ended up forming a relationship. I knew this woman for like 2 years. I kept in contact with her even when we left, right? So every time we used to pull in Thailand, I used to call her up, and she used to come pick me up and show me around. She had a car, all that shit, man, you know. But the thing is, now, she would never tell me what she did for a living. That's the thing that kind of bothered me. You never tell me what he did for a living, man. I'm like, yo, you're kind of weird. You kind of weird. But she would always take care of me and look out for me. So I'm like, so that's why I kind of let it slide. And when I went to Thailand, it was the same thing. She was whatever I needed, whatever I wanted to eat, she was always always making it happen. Doesn't matter what it was. Whatever I wanted to drink, she would always make it happen. She would always call somebody, even if she didn't know, she would call somebody or try to, make it happen. She would pander and cater to me. Same thing, just like being in Japan. But Thailand is better. I mean, they would rub my feet. She would cut my toenails. She would cut my fingernails. She would rub my back. In Thailand, she would give me a soapy. So basically, a soapy is a body massage. So in Thailand, they got places where you can go to, and basically the women will give you a body massage with bubbles in the tub, using their bodies, But she knew how to do that shit. I guess she used to work there. I don't know. I didn't really get into all that. I didn't bother to ask because it felt good and I was having a good time and I liked her. She was a beautiful girl. So I kind of just let the shit go. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really get up into her past and all that shit. I just kind of let it go. But yeah, in Thailand, if you go to Thailand, just ask them about the bubble bath massage. People know people know about it, And the thing about being in Thailand, she used to call me the chocolate man. She used to call me chocolate man in Thailand. And I'm like, oh, okay, you crazy. And first I thought it was just me, but they call all the black dudes chocolate man. I thought it was just a me thing, but no, it's a us thing. They call all the brothers chocolate man in Thailand. So, it was like I'm having an experience at 21 years old that most guys will never have in their lifetime over here in the eastern side of the world. And this shit blew my mind, And this experience, I've had this experience many, many times. And I had it in Australia, Thailand, Japan. No, not so much Korea. They don't like black people in Korea like that. But I mean, Guam, India. So now it's 3.5 years. It's time for me to get out the Navy, basically. The time went by so fast. I'm thinking I don't want to leave now because I don't want to have to go back to America. So I'm like, I'm thinking about extending my time in the Navy. But the only problem was I could not, they wouldn't give me the location that I wanted. I wanted to stay in Japan, but they was offering me Hawaii and all these other places or whatever, So that ended up not working out, So I ended up getting out, coming back home. I probably stayed home for like 6 months. And I realized that I can't go back to way things used to be. I cannot accept this type of disrespect or this type of treatment. It wasn't necessarily disrespect. This type of treatment. I can't accept. There's certain things, even still to this day, there's certain things about women I cannot accept. I can't do it. I can't go back to being the way I used to be before I went in there. How do you go? How do you have women treat you so nice and respectful for 4 years straight and come back to America and go back to normal, go back to way it used to be. You can't do it. No, you can't do it. Nobody can do it. You can't do it. And I've talked to other guys about this type of shit. You cannot do it. It's damn near impossible. You cannot do it. Just like, even to this day, I cannot accept an obese woman. I don't like fat women. I can't do it. Now, I might talk to you, but I ain't gonna be able to go that far with you. I'm gonna be looking at you funny style, like, hey, when are you gonna lose this goddamn weight? Shit. You know, so this is why I said me being in the Navy is kind of a gift and a curse. Because I can't go back to before I went in. That way of thinking is dead to me. You know, it's like anything I do in life, any accomplishments, whatever I want to do, whatever I desire to do in life, there ain't no damn excuses. Excuses, I can't accept no excuses. It's like, I don't know how to half-ass or just give it a shot or just try your best or settle. I don't know how to do that. Whatever I do, I'm going to win. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm going to win. You know, I don't know how, I don't understand or know any other way to be and how to approach things in life. I only know whatever I do, I'm going to win. It doesn't matter what it is either. It could be any area of my life. I'm going to win eventually. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. It has to happen because that's the only way I know how to be. You know, and this is what happened to me once I went in the Navy, came out. It was like a transformation. You know, it's kind of hard to explain to a lot of people that haven't been in the military, I would say. You know, when I talk to people that's been in the military, they get it. They instantly get it. They understand what I'm talking about. You know, they're not confused about it. They get it. But people outside, it's kind of like, or people that's never been in the military, they kind of looking like, you're kind of radical. You know, you might be a little crazy. No. I mean, that's your opinion. That's your perspective. And I have a completely different perspective than you. But that don't mean it's wrong. That don't mean something's wrong with it. That means it works for me. It might not work for you, and that's okay. You know? So, you know, you can't go back, man. You can't. Dick Gregory said, once you put the magic glasses on, you can never take them off. That's what he was talking. That's what he meant by that. You know, and he went on to say, don't expect other people to see what you see. Don't expect other people to see what you see. You know? And it taught me that, you know, women like being around guys like me. Women like being around movers and shakers. And a lot of times it's what's behind you more than anything versus what's in front of them. And the good news is, check this out. They don't even understand it most of the time. You got women out here don't even understand why they're attracted to certain type of guys. You got women out here, they don't want to be attracted to certain type of guys. So what they'll do, the ones that know themselves just a little bit, what they'll do is stay away, because they know if they stay around or come around these certain type of guys that they don't want to be attracted to, they're going to get sucked in. And they know what could happen once they get sucked in. So what a lot of times, what a lot of people will do is not even put themselves in a position to get seduced. And, you know, no one ever gets seduced that didn't want to be seduced. You know, and I've heard guys say that type of shit too. Guys will say, hey, I know who I am. I know how I get down. So I ain't going over there, you know, because I don't need to be fucking with that woman, you know, because some guys will say, hey, if I know if I go over there, I'm hitting that. So they just won't go over there at all. They won't go to the party at all. You know, they just won't be associated with certain type of women at all because they know themselves, you know, and that's very important. Then, you know, the best relationship you can have is with yourself, you know. So when I went in the Navy, I found myself. That's what happened to me when I went in the Navy. I found myself. I got to know myself much better than before. Because before I went in the Navy, I didn't really know who the fuck I was. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was kind of lost, you know. But when I got out, when I went in, I found myself. And when I got out, I was like, okay, now I know who I am and I know how this shit works out here. The problem is I have to figure out where I'm going to live at. I know it's not going to be home because I've outgrown that shit. And the people that are there, we don't really have anything in common no more. Well, when I went back home, I don't have nothing in common with my homeboys no more, or my homegirls no more. We don't have nothing in common. So I'm like, shit. I mean, I love them. I'm still cool with them, but I got to go. I got to go someplace else and meet people that I have something in common with. Well, I've outgrown them. You know, I mean, when I go home today, I mean, they still there, my homeboys. We still cool. You know, I call them every once in a while, see how they doing. But we don't really have nothing in common. You know, it's like, it is what it is. You know, they married, got kids. I don't have no kids. You know, they married and got kids. I would say about half of them. A lot of them don't have no kids, and a lot of them aren't married. You know, so you know, I come back home now. You know, I got to deal with the American woman, and I ain't really feeling them like that. The majority of them I can't really take serious. I mean, they're always going to be every once in a while. You're always going to meet a woman you're going to hit it off with. But that ain't every day. That ain't every week. You meet a woman that you hit it off with, and y'all might have a great relationship. That doesn't happen every day. That doesn't happen every week. That doesn't happen every month. That might not happen every year. But it happens. But you have to realize I was meeting women like that. I was hitting it off with women like that at least 2-3 times a month. And now I'm not even meeting women like that once a month in America. Plus, the numbers, you have more women in these other places. I have it's a pool of women. It's beautiful women every fucking where. In America, yeah, there's beautiful women, but not all in one place like that. I mean, if you're in New York City or the big cities, LA, Chicago, Miami, Houston, Dallas, Charlotte, but outside the major cities, these small towns, they don't really got women like that. I mean, yeah, some of the women look good, but the most attractive women usually flock to the big cities. That's usually how it go. You know, I mean, look, if there's a bad chick in a small town, everybody know who she is. She's well known. That's usually how it go. You know what I'm saying? But that same woman can go to a big city and she ain't a bad bitch no more. She just average. That's what I'm talking about. You know, you can take a woman that's from someplace like Colombia or Brazil. When we look at her, we think that's a bad bitch. But in Colombia or Brazil, she's just average. That's what I'm talking about. That's the difference. Now you might have more numbers in these other places, but here in America, outside the major cities, you don't. The numbers are small because there's more small towns than big cities. That's the point I'm trying to make. You know, and these other countries are overcrowded. There's a lot of people, and there's more women than guys. Now, I know I have some listeners that's from the eastern side of the world, worldwide. Now, they might have a similar problem. They might have problems with women wherever they're located. Just like let's take a guy that's in the east. Let's say a guy in Japan. I got listeners in Japan, right? He's experiencing the same thing I've experienced. But for him, it ain't good enough based on his culture, his way of thinking, how he see the women in his culture. He's probably experiencing the experience he's having in his mind. It ain't good enough because the women, he's not meeting the women that he wants. And I understand that. But that same woman that ain't enough for him might be enough for me because I'm not a part of that culture. Like the old saying goes, one man's trash is the next man's treasure. It's that type of deal. You know? I see things different from the way he would. And I respect his way of thinking, his way of being, how he see things. You know, vice versa. I get it. But you can't send me to another country for damn near 4 years, have me going all around the world on a Navy ship, And when my time is up, send me back to America and tell me that I gotta go back to being the way I used to be. That shit ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen to nobody. You can never go back the way you used to be, the way you used to think. It ain't happening. You know, this is why I continue to travel. This is why I can't accept certain things. This is why some things are just unacceptable, you know, to me. Yeah, like, share the video. God damn. Damn, Mike. You leaving comments? You leaving a bunch of comments. What's up? What's up? Said the let's see. Bar girls? I stay away from bar girls. Yeah, chocolate man, that was Thailand. They like me. Yeah, if you're in Korea, I heard Seoul was cool, but I never been to Seoul. But outside of Seoul, it's hit or miss. Why did you come back to America? I didn't have nowhere else to go. Magic glasses. Yeah, let's see. Tired of the self relationship. Let's see. An Asian guy in America loves being in Asia. Well, apparently they don't like it that much because they won't go back home. You know, don't get caught up in the people love their country and all that bullshit talk. Well, apparently they don't love it enough because they left. You know, I don't get people say I love my city, I love my country. Well, apparently you don't love it you don't love it enough because you still over here. I don't buy into that bullshit. Nope, I can't be here in this night. You call it a nightmare. God damn, man. Call it a nightmare, boy. Woo! Yeah, share the video. Like, share the video. You call it a nightmare, man. Yeah, damn, man. It gets a little rough at times, man. But you got to keep it pushing. You got to stay down, man. You got to be cold. You got to be cold like a. Sometimes, man, you got to be cold like a motherfucker out here, man. I'm gonna put the link in here, man. Anyone wants to ask anything? Hey, what y'all doing up this time of night anyway, man? It's after one. It's after 1 o'clock on the East Coast. What y'all doing up this time of night? I know it's a different time where you might be from, but where I'm at, it's like almost 2 o'clock. What's up, Mr. Charles? Let's see. Sean, what if you met a misguided multi-baby mama that you like? I don't know what to do. You met, you got kids with that woman? If you don't got kids with that woman, I don't put a lot of stock and spend a lot of time around women with kids. You know, because I'm not really a woman with kids. I ain't really trying to because you got to look at it like this. How much time does she have for her 2 kids or 3 kids or whatever? I ain't really trying to get with a woman with a ready-made family. So the only thing a woman with 2 kids, 2-3 kids can do, all we can do is fuck. That's all we can do is smash. I ain't really trying to spend time with a woman with 2, 3 kids like that. Now, a woman with 1 kid, boy, she gonna have to blow me away, boy. You know, if she come through there acting like she's a single woman with a kid with all these damn standards that she didn't have before she met me, man, I'll be like, get the hell up out of here, this bullshit. Or a woman with kids, I don't really entertain a woman with kids like that. Not at all. I would never get married to a woman with 2 kids. That's unacceptable to me. You know, not the ones that left with their families, the ones that were born here, only visited and moved. They want to move. Not the ones that left their family, the ones that were born. Well, the one that were born here, okay, that's a different story. You know. But their families, their parents left. So, oh well. I only have a little power and I'm at the hospital. Yeah, but Mr. Charles, if you don't have no kids with that woman, there's no reason for you to really be around her. There's a lot of women out here that don't have no kids, you know. So I would never. I see guys get married to a woman with kids. I salute them because I would never, ever do that shit. I never thought about getting married to a woman that got kids with another man. Hell no. Hell no. Who? No.
She belongs to the streets.
Hell. Now, are there some good women with kids? Absolutely. There's a lot of good women with kids out here. But I'm getting married to their ass. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You know, I salute those guys that get married to those women with kids. I'm just not doing that. You know, I want to get with a woman that have no kids. You know, that's just me. You know, that's just me. That's my preference. It is what it is. Yo,
Hey, what's up, brother?
what you doing
Oh,
up in there?
I'm at the hospital.
Why?
Heart problems, breathing problems, man. And I still can't get my ride to go home, so I'm here.
God
And
damn.
I'm low on battery power, so that's my life right now.
Damn, man.
Uh, Don't
Yeah,
it?
you got seen already?
Yeah, I'm already out. They even gave me some
Oh,
medicine.
okay. That's good.
Uh, I'm not dying yet,
How
apparently.
long you been in there in the emergency room?
I was in there since
Probably early.
1 or 2, and they released me at 10, and they supposed to give me a cab or something like that. And that was, what, 3 or 4 hours ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you gotta love America. I love Maryland.
Yeah,
Oh,
bro.
it's
You
just
know?
so wonderful here.
Shit.
Um, so I wanted to hear the story of why you broke up with the rich girl. Because now you hurt me. You hurting me
Oh,
right now.
nah. Well, she was the type that she really wasn't the type to settle with. You know, she was the type that you know,
I settled with that
she
money.
well, I mean her family had money. You know,
Yeah.
her but you know, they didn't
e- e-
really.
Eventually, she would have money.
Yeah, but she ain't really the type. She kind of belonged to the streets. Yeah,
I'm sure she did.
once I got to know her, I'm like, yeah, you ain't really the type to. You
Hmm.
ain't wifey material, you
Hmm.
know. And that's how she was. And I just accepted that, and I just kind of
Moved on.
stopped talking. I didn't talk to her very often. I used to see her in passing a lot, and every
Hmm.
time I seen her, she had a different guy.
Right, right, right.
So
Well,
I'm
I mean,
like,
that's she's just hopping around, huh?
yeah. And plus, she was a heavy drinker too.
Oh no, I can't deal with that. No,
And
she
she
I
was a
can't deal
heavy
with that.
drinker, and I met another woman that was like that too. She was a heavy drinker, and not only was she a heavy drinker, the other woman,
Hmm.
but she had bad hygiene. That was awful, man. That was
uh,
she was a heavy drinker too. But the only difference
mm,
between both of them, the second girl, she didn't go to the nightclubs. The
oh,
first girl, she used to go to the nightclub all the time, like every week. Yeah, and it was just that was
but
awful, man.
the second girl was stinking.
You're stinking, bro. I didn't even know what I didn't even know. Let me tell you something, man. I didn't even know what it was, what I was smelling, because
Hmm.
we're on the train, man, and I'm like, and this is a on multiple times, by the way. This is not a one time thing. Because I'm like, if
Hmm.
you sit beside somebody, I'm like, what's that smell?
Smell
I'm
like
like,
seafood salad and crabs.
yeah, I'm like, what's that smell? So I just get up.
Uh,
I talk. I see another time. I'm out, right? And then it
right.
happened like 3 or 4 more times.
Hmm.
I'm like, yo, that's you. Every time I'm around you, this motherfucker is stinking. And one time, this particular time, I ended up going to her house because
Hmm.
I know what it was. I was at the club and I was leaving, but in Tokyo, the train stops for like 2 hours.
Right.
So, but when you leave the club usually closes like 4, and the train starts like 5:30. The first train,
Right.
and on my way walking to the train station, she pulled up, and I know it was her car. So I said,
Hmm.
"Hey, where
Hmm.
you going?" And she said, "Oh, I'm going home." So I said, "Hey, take me back to the base." And she was like, "Yeah, so get in, right?" And she was
What'd you say?
she ended up she was like, "Hey, you can stay with me tonight or whatever, right?" And
Right.
boy, why did I do that? And that's how I figured out that it was her stinking.
uh,
Yeah, that was horrible, man.
oh man,
That
just
was
been here
horrible.
forever. I don't know how I'm gonna get out of here. It would have been better if I drove myself here. Oh well. Well, my battery's about to die. They got 9% left, and it just burned from 30%.
Oh,
I'll
you need
talk
your
to you
phone,
later.
bro. All right,
Uh,
cool.
but wait. Before I do this, there there's this thing that's been talked about Amber Heard. There has to be a conversation about that. It really does, because
Yeah, I thought.
they said something about men just need to be quiet and not complain,
Yeah, I'll
and
talk about it
somebody has to
later.
say something. All right, I'll
All
talk
right,
to you later. Bye.
peace.
Again, you've been had. You've been cooked. You've been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok. This is what he does.
Listen, I've been fighting this fight for years, trying to find a black woman in America. She's a cool chick that can be saved. No, you can't save him. You can't save nobody, Mr. Charles. No, you can't. I think you should. I think you should start traveling, Mr. Charles. That's what I think. I think you should start traveling. You know what I'm saying? You can't save nobody. You can't save nobody. All right, cool, man. Come on, Daywalker. You can't save nobody, man. I think you should start traveling, man. And what you're gonna learn, man, is relationships should happen naturally, organically. You shouldn't have you shouldn't have to micromanage or force yourself on anybody or make something out of nothing. That relationship shouldn't be that way. If you put 100 women in a room on the right and 100 men on the left, nature will take its course. That's what it is. You see, in America that everything is kind of micromanaged, you know, socially. They're trying to force certain things on young kids, at an early age in school and all that stuff. That stuff is not normal. That's that, and plus the young kids that kids, their minds aren't fully developed. So you're basically trying to manipulate their minds, and that's what they're doing in this country. Yeah. I'm too invested already. She actually listened to you. Invested in what? If you invested time, but what you're gonna find, Mr. Charles, is you're going to meet other women and it's going to take you less time and you're probably going to have a much better, much more fulfilling relationship. That's what you're going to find. That's all I'm saying. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you how. I'm just tell you what it is. Do you see yourself getting married to that woman? Do you hold up. Better outcome. Do you have kids? Do you have kids, Mr. Charles? I mean, just kids by yourself with another woman. And how many kids she has? Oh, 50-50 chance you get married to her. But do you have kids already? Will you settle for a chick that says she was raised in the streets but wants to be a good woman now? You have to be wife material, or at least have the capacity to be wife material before a woman shows up to a man. You have to be a wife. You have to be raised up to be a wife, coached up to be a wife. You can't just live one way for 10, 15 years, have sex with a bunch of guys, then turn around and be like, hey, I'm ready to be a good woman now. It doesn't work that way. A lot of women try to do that, but they can't really pull that off like that. That doesn't work. So you got no kids, Mr. Charles. Do you want kids with this woman or what? She got 3 kids and all her kids with the same dad or what? All her kids with the same dad? Yeah, smash the like button, share the video. Smash the like button. Now you can't live one way for 10 years or 20 years of your life and try to flip and be like, okay, I'm going this direction now. That shit don't work like that. It don't work. People try to do certain things, but it don't work that way. That's like being That's like being a dope boy, and then you say, "Hey, I'm getting married next week, and I'm not selling dope no more." And you've been selling dope all your life and never worked a job. That shit not gonna work. It's gonna fail because there's a transition period that you have to have. You must make if you go from the streets to being a square. That shit don't work. Come on. That's in real life don't work that way. There's a lot of people throwing theories out here, but think it's a process. Yes, I want 2 kids. Is she willing to have 2 kids? 3 kids, 3 fathers? God damn. No different dad? Oh, just one guy. Okay. Why they didn't get married? Why she didn't get married to the baby father, Mr. Charles? I'm just curious. How come she didn't get married to the baby father? You don't want to be no cleanup man. You don't want to be no the guy that you don't want to be Captain Save him. How come she didn't get married to the baby father? What happened with them? Three kids is a lot, bro. For real. 3 kids is a lot. For real, for real. You didn't ask. Why not? You should ask that. If you had 3 kids for one guy, I mean, why you didn't ask? That's a good question, bro. That's a damn good question to ask. Like, for real, for real. You.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing? I was
All right.
good evening. I was it's funny, I wanted to ask you about that. Not necessarily what the guy was talking about, but this whole concept. And I'm not here like to bash women and whatnot, but I always hear that a lot. Like when I hear a woman say, okay, you're in a relationship with a man and you're not giving your all to that man, and then either her or the woman will be like, oh well, he wasn't the right man for me, he can bring it out of me. And I think that's, to be honest with you, that's a form of gaslighting, because it's more or less saying you couldn't bring it out of me because you were inadequate as a man, when in actuality you should be a feminine person regardless. I just think, like, in terms of responsibilities as man and woman, just because the person you feel as though might not necessarily be up to par at the best of their ability, doesn't negate that you should abandon your responsibilities, your feminine responsibilities. Likewise with me as a man, like, a woman might not be always up to par with everything, but that doesn't negate or absolve me of being a masculine man. And I think a lot of women say that just to get out of the fact that they're not up to code. You know.
Well, what do you think women mean when they say the guy didn't get it out of them? What do you think they mean when they say that?
Well, I was I was recently told that by somebody in a prior that I was in a prior relationship with, and I believe more or less it's just a deflection. To be honest with you, I can't think of anything else, because I told the person, well, if that's the case, why put demands on me and be mad if I don't meet all of those demands? I could say that you didn't bring it out of me. I think people are shifting the blame onto others and not just taking responsibility for their part as their respective gender. You know what I mean? Because a woman I could say to myself, oh, a woman put on weight, I shouldn't go to work today and take care of my family. It doesn't work that way. No one would take that as okay, I could understand that. No one. They'd be like, no, you need to get your butt up to and go to work, regardless as if your woman put on weight or not. I think the same applies for women. I just feel like I don't know, in society we absolve women of the responsibility, and I think it's a form of gaslighting. And I'm be honest with you, it gets discouraging because anybody could say that. You can say that person was then the right man for me. Then I've asked this on other with other people, and I was like, so why aren't you with the right man then? And then people will like get quiet. So I just for example, yeah, I was gonna say for example.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, sorry, because my thing was boring a little bit, but I just I was watching something else recently, and it was a woman from Brazil, and I think it's the mentality when people come into a relationship. I think that people are not coming in good faith anymore. I told somebody that today too. I feel people are not coming in with the best of intentions. So they always have an escape route to say, oh, that person wasn't doing this, they weren't doing that. So I couldn't give my all. It was hard to give my all under certain circumstances. I'm like, hold up. Why is it that, for example, particularly like with Black people and compared to other races, you have other people coming from more dire positions and they're still able to hold their end of the bargain in terms of the social contract between a man and a woman. I'm like, I told somebody, I was like, there are women in third world countries that have to go fetch water for 10 miles, yet they're still feminine to their man. I just feel like it's more or less just an excuse.
Well, you brought up a very good point. I'm gonna say, in America, any westernized country, almost none of the women are gonna come in with good intentions. It's really up to the man to shut that shit down. It takes, you have to be, this is where your leadership skills come in at. Because it's been times where women have told me that they didn't have good intentions. Women have told me that, hey, I didn't think you was gonna be like this. I didn't think this was gonna last that long. I just wanted to smash one time and that was it. And they said this like months later, So I'm gonna say most of the time in North America, especially, most women don't have good intentions. But it doesn't really matter what their intentions is, because this is how I live my life. My life, my game, my show. So if she's gonna stay around me, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. And if she don't like it, she can leave. Straight up. And as far as the women in other countries, well, they still have most of these countries still have patriarchy. So the guys are first. The guys are attached to most of the resources, and women know that they need these guys. See, in American culture, they don't necessarily need guys like that, So a lot of that has to do with it. But when it comes to me, any woman that comes around me, it's gonna be my way or the highway. I don't care what your mama told you. I don't care what your grandmama told you. I don't care what your girlfriend said. This is how I run my life. My life, my game, my show. And if she don't like it, there's a woman behind her that's waiting. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way you have to be. And if some people will say, well, why are you like that? Because this is my life. No one is going to live my life for me. And no one is going to care about my life as much as me. And most women, they don't know what they want. One day is this, the next day is that, next month is this, 6 months is that. 5 years is this, and you have to be the only thing constant in her life, the same, consistent, because they're not going to be consistent. They're not. And they change based on their hormones. It change based what change when they have the baby. It change when somebody whisper in their ears. It change when it's because their friend said something. You have to be consistent. You know, you have to be the one constant thing in her life. You have to lead by example. And if she don't respect that, she can leave.
Yeah.
You know, that's just it
I
has
think
to be that way.
Yeah. I've had to learn that the hard way, but I wanted to ask you like was a bit of two questions. Where do you see relationships going in America in the next maybe 15 to 20 years?
It's going to hell. It's over. It's been over. I mean, I would say for the average common man in America, this is over. You know, if you can't shake and move, and if you don't really have control of your finances, you're not gonna be able to move and shake like you want to. So let's take a guy that he worked 40 hours a week. You know, he got one income. The weekend comes, he look at the football game, basketball game. Monday morning, he do the same shit over again. That's all. He hang out with his buddies, whatever. But he go out of town maybe Memorial Weekend, right? And Thanksgiving. You know, he celebrate Christmas, go back home to his parents' house. That guy is women are walking past those type of guys. I mean, women don't want to be with average guys. Average women don't want to be with average men. So it's over. This shit is. I don't see it getting better in the next 10, 15 years. I mean, that's why I tell people do what works for you. If you travel and you happen to and you establish relationships other places, good for you. You know, I don't tell guys to stay in your town, in your city, and suffer, and you know, do what you got to do for you, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to hell. I think it's over. I don't. You know, Kevin Samuels was the last hope. He was ain't nobody. I'm not willing to do work as hard as Kevin Samuels did. You know, I'm not doing that. You know, so and I don't think anybody else is going to do it. That's what I think, brother. You know, I don't.
Good point.
I'm not as optimistic about the relationships between men and women today. You know, I don't. You know, I don't, man. You know,
I was double dutching to get on this.
I don't, man. You know, I wish. You know, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, man.
It would be nice if you were wrong. I know what to do what it takes because I'm in computers right now and I'm also in accounting, so I'm trying to get my way into working remote. But I just think to myself, I never thought that you know I've spoken to people about this before. When I hear women say they don't want a plumber or a dude that's an electrician, it was like when I was growing up, because I was around a lot of Gen Xers and Boomers, like those were the quality men. Like if a woman could get a dude that was a plumber, that's like a woman getting a guy on Wall Street in the black community back in the day.
Yeah, bro. I saw my brother. My brother was a plumber. He still is a plumber to this day. But when I was like 13, 14, like a teenager, I heard this woman that he was wanting to get with said, this is after the fact, after she moved on and got another guy and got married, right? She said the reason why she didn't want to get married to him is because he was a plumber. He was a blue collar dude. So at the time, he's making like at least 100,000 a year, right? And the guy that she got with, I guess he's a briefcase wearing L7 type dude, and they end up getting a divorce. So I'm like, that's the only reason that you didn't. Just him being a plumber is the only reason. I thought that was the strangest shit ever at the time.
Well, see, you can't. Here's how you pick women now. Look at their daddies. Women always love their daddies, and they want somebody just like that. If their daddy was a piece of shit,
yeah,
don't date her. If he's out there in the streets, trust me, she gonna be out there in the streets. Yeah. But if her daddy stays there and takes care of family and does this and that, she gonna do it. She gonna be right there with him and doing everything that needs to be done. I'll see you later, bud. Nope, not yet.
Yeah, I mean, the first relationship she has with a man is her dad.
Why? But that's seriously what it is. If you ever watch them, ever, and you aren't going to be any good unless you're like him. So the ones that say they want to have somebody cheating on them all the time, look at their daddy. He's doing the same damn thing. She saw the whole thing. I'm not trying to put up with that shit. That's another reason why I can't do that here, because they got that mindset. It's either their daddy or their uncle or somebody down the street or somebody who was tagging up their mom. I ain't hearing it. I ain't feeling it. You do what you want.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm going too hard, but I'm tired of it. I want out.
It's actually discouraging. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I've always thought like I'm 27, and I thought I would have something long term and be in a healthy relationship. It's and I'm not saying I'm perfect. No. But man, like I would at least think it would be more ideal. Like, just I don't know, man. I would never, because somebody was on another show recently, and he was saying like how they had to when they were 27, they were going from a relationship, and then they take some time off, and then go in a relationship, and it wasn't working out, and they said they just took off like the next 5 years of building themselves. But then the person, the content creator, was saying to them like, well, that's not necessarily normal to take off 5 years of dating as a man in your prime of your youth, But sometimes it can get really discouraging, and you feel as though like, damn, like what's going on? Like why is it so hard to be relatable to a woman and be able to have a communicative and healthy relationship? It's just, I don't know. Because feel like yeah.
Sometimes, no. Man, sometimes some people just they're in the wrong location, man. Sometimes, man, you just gotta travel and meet people, bro. You gotta the people. Yeah. People, most people. It's normal for the people that really like you to warm up to you. It's not like this ain't no damn. We ain't fucking robots. Now, some of us might act like robots sometimes, but I mean, normally people gravitate towards people that are just like them,
Yeah, but they're all looking for a movie star looking like dudes. But let me tell you something. You 4'11", 255 pounds. You can looking like a blueberry and swear up and down. You're the best thing since sliced bread. Fuck that.
I mean, there's a lot of delusional men and women out here. Delusional. There's a lot of them out here.
Yeah, that is true.
You're 27, man. You're a young man. If I were you, I wouldn't get into anything serious until I'm at least 35, bro.
You should run.
At least 35, bro.
Yeah.
You should use this time now to build. What the hell?
Nah, I lost my ears.
Use this time now, bro, to build. And you should sacrifice now, and later on you'll be much more. You have much more time freedom later. It's always greater later, bro.
Exactly.
It's always greater later.
Yeah.
Save up that money, get out.
You know,
You
it's
know,
always greater. See,
I
to
hope
more.
men could take that to heart too.
Well, some of them aren't
I
willing to
hope
do sacrifice.
I hope that some women can take that to heart.
Yeah.
Because if they do, they'll save themselves. All right, I got to get off again because I already lost like
All right.
25%, man.
What a lot of people,
Yeah.
a lot of guys aren't willing to sacrifice, bro. If you know, they think that
Yeah.
you got to have instant gratification and everything like that. But if you're willing to sacrifice
Yeah.
5 to 7 years, and you know you get your finances in order, and I keep going back to finances, man, because it gives you more time, freedom. You can create more opportunities for yourself. You get to focus on things that you really want to do versus the thing that you have to do. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to go to that job and kiss people's ass, and you have more than one income. And even if your income might not be the way you would like it to be, but at least you have enough belief in yourself that you're going to be okay. You know what I'm saying? You know how it feels. You know how it feels to go to a job. I've been on both sides of this. You know how it feels to go to a job where the supervisor is asking you to do overtime, and you want to say no, but you can't, because if you say no too many times, then they're gonna be looking at you sideways, like, oh, you're not a team player, blah blah blah, this and that or whatever, you know. And then on the other side, you know how it feels to go to a job where you can pretty much say no, and you know, and be confident about it. And you don't even have to be nasty. You'd be like, nah, I can't do it. You know, you won't feel pressured to do it. And you know, if you have to leave that job or they start acting funny style, you have more income. You have money saved. You have investments. You can be like, if you get fired, it's okay. You're not gonna you're not gonna lose all your shit. You ain't gonna get kicked out.
Yeah.
You have options. That's the completely different ball game, completely different mindset versus you have just one income, no skills other than what you've been doing at this dead end job. Oh, that's completely different, mindset. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why you want to learn some type of skill, work with some company, or it could be one person. Learn the game, learn how they do what they do, and take that and become self-sufficient. That's what you want to be, bro. You don't want to put your livelihood in anyone else's hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else you want to know? Talk about?
Yeah. How do you know as a man that a relationship is like the failure of the relationship is on you more so than the woman? Like, when do you realize, like, okay, it was on my end, or when you realize, like, you've done all you could, but it's not gonna connect. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I have this guilt of thinking it was my fault, but in actuality, other people tell me, like, hey, you did your end. Sometimes it's not meant to be because the woman is not up to par, But I just want to know, like, when do I know that it's really my fault?
Well, first off, a woman has to be open. She has to be able to accept your leadership and trust your leadership. She has to be open to that. If she's not giving you cooperation, that shit is over. It's gonna fall. It's eventually gonna fall. And all you can do is, once you've done the best you could do, everything within your capacity as a man in any relationship or any friendship, really, all you can do is give it your all. All you can do is all you can do. And if it still ain't working, it's nothing else left, bro. That's really it, you know. And just learn from it and move on. Because it's been some relationships I've had in the past. I was just too young and inexperienced to know how to handle certain situations once I look back on it. And that's not, I didn't beat myself up. I just didn't know. I didn't have anybody around to tell me about certain situations. And the people that were around me, it never happened to them before. So they really didn't know either.
Mm.
So it was just a learning experience, you know. But you can't work on a relationship by yourself. If the other person is not, they don't have the desire to do the same as you and work on a relationship as you, well, it ain't gonna work. You know, you have to be in it to win it. You have to be in the win. You have to have the drive, the desire, the motivation, and that comes from internal. That's an inside job.
Mm.
That's really it. You can't beat yourself up, man.
Yeah, somebody said if that's true, if you feel drained instead of energized, it ain't gonna work. And then I've been in situations like that. I'm really hard on myself when stuff don't work out. Then I start to question, okay, was it on my end? But I tell people, I relate information to people wholeheartedly, like I'm honest about it. And I say I'm not perfect, but I did this, and I did this. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. And they were like, hey man, like that they were like, I believe that person isn't right for you. And unfortunately, yeah, I've asked both men and women about it. They're like, yeah, that person wasn't for you. If they can't even do so and so and you're doing so and so, then it's really not up to you. I think for me, I used to internalize failure in my relationships as it was to me.
Some people are not for you. I mean, it's like, if this might be a little drastic. Let's say you get sick, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you get in a car accident, crash, end up in the hospital or whatever. Or maybe let's say you get the corona. Everyone likes to talk about that. Everybody's scared, like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. Well, let's say you get sick, right? You get the flu. Let's say you get the flu, and you're in bed, and the girl that you spending all this time with, she called you. You told her you got the flu, and you say, "Oh," she's like, "Oh, I hope you get well. I'll talk to you later," right? And she never called back. She never checked on you. She never came by. That tells you right there. She didn't even bother to call you back and say, "Hey, you need anything from the store? Can I pick something else up?" You know, that tells you right there. She don't really care about you. You know, or she's acting all dumb, like she don't know what to do. But when it comes to somebody else, she know exactly what to do, or she'll find out what to do. But when it comes to you, it's like, oh, she's the dumbest person in the world all of a sudden. That right there,
Yeah, I've had that happen to me recently.
Yeah, that tells you right there. This person ain't really down with me like that. I know where I stand now. So I got to get away from this person. You know, I remember I'll give you an example. I'll tell you a story. I had a homeboy when I was living in Atlanta. He had he used to work. They used to install the gas pump at these stores that were just opening at, these gas stations. the gas pump that you pump gas in your car. His job was to go around the country and install those on these new gas stations that were opening up. So he used to travel a lot. He was mobile, right? But he used to come to Atlanta a lot, like at least once a month. And so his girlfriend that he lived with now came to see him on a weekend, and his phone number is in my. I talked to her one time, and his phone number is in his phone, right? My phone number is in his phone. So she calls me Thursday afternoon, was like, hey, I'm calling you because he can't breathe. He's having an asthma attack. Well, I'm like, well, bitch, call the ambulance. What you calling me for? So I hung up the phone, right?
She's like, do you know the number for 911?
Yeah, I'm like, you dumb. So I know where he's staying at. I know where the hotel is, right? It's probably like 30 minutes from me at the time in Atlanta. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go over here. By the time I went over there, before I even got there, the ambulance came and picked him up. So, I just like, all right, cool, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But so he calls me 2 days later, and he was embarrassed because I was like, yo, bro, you need to get rid of that bitch. She calls me telling me you having an asthma attack and she don't know what to do, bro. That's unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? What is that? And he was like, yeah, I don't know, bro. That's unacceptable, bro. Come on, man. If you have another asthma attack and you can't breathe, well, she gonna let you die. I mean, come on, man. That's unacceptable, bro. If you were her, if you were her son, she would have called the ambulance. She wouldn't be calling me. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. That's unacceptable, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very valid point. Yeah. You when the people show themselves up to who they are, you got to believe them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it makes me think about certain things. I remember when I got sick, compared to other situations with other women, and then compared to other situations with the women that were like for me, compared to the ones that weren't, like it was a big contrast in terms of how I was sick. Like they kind of one were trying to nurse me back to health, the others were resentful. Like, why are you sniffling so much? But
yeah.
But that is a good point. Yeah, man, I'm gonna just really work hard to try to work remote, because it's very discouraging, especially you're doing what you're supposed to do as a man, or at least you're trying, and when it's like a lot of situations in terms of getting women, like it's not hard to get sex from a lot of women nowadays, but it's more or less to get a relationship that could come to fruition. That's another ball game in of itself. Just to get along with the woman more than 6 months is like a feat in of itself. So I'm gonna just really just work hard, do what I gotta do, and see if I can leave the country.
Where do you live at?
I live in New York. I live
New
in
York
Brooklyn.
City? Oh, god damn.
Yeah.
Shit. Oh god. And New York is like a cesspool, man.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a very tough place. It's just too much going on up there. Oh man, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how y'all live up there, man. I can't do it. You from there? Born and raised?
Yeah, born and raised. Been here most of my, like, literally all my life. But I plan on moving out to I wanted to go to LA or Florida in like the next 2 years.
LA is the same shit, bro. It's just a little wilder.
Yeah, but I know, but I just want, you know what I technically just want? I want 2 houses on both coasts. So I want a house in LA and I want a house in Florida. And the amount of money I'm gonna start making, I'll be able to get to that point. But overall, I think
where in Florida? Miami?
close to Miami, but not that far away.
Like Fort Lauderdale?
Not in Miami. Yes,
Fort
very
Lauderdale?
close, like Hollywood, Florida, going
Hollywood?
because
Yeah.
Hollywood, Florida is right next to Fort. Yeah.
Yeah. Hollywood is cool. I like Hollywood and Fort
Yeah.
Lauderdale. Yeah, Miami is cesspool too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I hear you, bro.
Oh yeah, Miami's like Las Vegas East.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not. I wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah. But
more or less, it's because I like the environment and I like the weather. I'm a very simple person in terms of things I like, but that would be more or less that would be it. It wouldn't necessarily be to get a family. Like I want to have a house outside of LA. So for example, like in Long Beach or Huntington Beach, I've sold like houses for like 200K. And like I said, I don't have family like that, and I don't have kids. So I would just be nice with a nice little beach house right next to the beach, and I'll be good.
you don't
I like
have
to be
kids,
near
bro.
water, personally.
You don't have kids, bro. You're a free young man, bro. You have nothing is stopping you. You don't have a whole lot of responsibilities like a lot of guys do. There's some guys like you, bro. They got 2-3 kids, bro.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I know.
there's nothing holding you back, bro. That's good.
Yeah.
You know,
but it would just be nice. I'm not gonna lie, to be in a healthy relationship, something to look forward to. But I get it. You still gotta build yourself up.
yeah.
But man,
Plus,
it would be nice.
You still young, bro. You can get out. You can get a passport. Go anywhere you want, man. And plus, you know, these restrictions are starting to be much less now.
True.
You know, in the UK, there's no restrictions. In Colombia, I think you don't got all you got to have a PCR test now, and most of these places are starting to follow Europe, pretty much. They don't got no restrictions.
Yeah.
So get out there, man, and enjoy your life, man. You know.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right, peace, man. Hold it down. There you have it. Smash the like button, share the video. Miami South is a big stepper for me. You need looks, money, and status. Yeah, that helps. I don't know. As soon as I get money, I'll be in Thailand. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Charles, I'm from there. Yeah, you are from Miami. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I mean, everybody. I mean, looks, money, and status do help. But I know some guys down there that they don't got no status. They don't got a lot of money either. I don't know, man. Michael, it's in Huntington Beach, Michael. Yeah, there's some spots in Huntington Beach I've seen that are pretty nice. Yeah, because I didn't go. When I went to LA, it's like 2019. I got around LA pretty good bit in 4 days. I didn't even go to downtown LA. I didn't make it to downtown LA. You know, because LA downtown is some new shit today. Kind of really. But man, you know what? I'm about to get up off here, man. It's after 2, 2:30, 2:35, where I'm from. So Hey, don't forget to check out the Love Can't Wait podcast. And check out the Patreon. And in Miami, it's Fantasyland. Women don't come here or visit to meet plumbers. Yeah, I agree with that, Mr. Charles. In Miami, they want the ballers, shot callers. In Miami, they want them ballers, shot callers. But once you get past the it's kind of hard to meet. I met some pretty decent women in Miami. This is about 3 years ago. It's you once you get past the nightlife, and you get to know some of these people that's been living there for a couple of years. It it can happen. But if you meeting some of these new people that just got to Miami, man, them motherfuckers crazy as cat shit. The crazy as cat shit, man. And most of them are foreigners. Most of them are foreigners. A lot of them crazy as cat shit. But they just got there. So they, and a lot of them strippers, all kind of different type of women. You got to get away from that entertainment and party scene. And that's the problem with cities like Miami and Atlanta and LA. That entertainment, got to get away from that shit. It's a cesspool, man. That's the problem. And so you might have to go to Fort Lauderdale or Hollywood or Palm Beach. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. You might have to drive an hour and a half away. You might have to. Because a lot of women ain't going to no clubs in Miami. They ain't going to no clubs. They might be on the beach. Well, they ain't going to the party. They ain't, a lot of, the club scene is completely different. Different crowd. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot of hoes out here now. But every woman ain't a hoe. Don't get your hope up. If you're a man, Miami is shark infested. If I can't swim. Yeah, I'm not saying to get your hope up, but I'm saying it's possible. But it's the pickings is slim, Mr. Charles. That's all I'm saying. The pickings is slim. Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale ain't no different. It's majority the same. Yeah, you're right. It's about the same, but Miami is a different monster. Well, I tell you, God damn, you got to swim without the sharks without being eaten. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, man, it's the environment is crazy, man. It's very I would say Miami is very hypnotic. But it's a bunch of foreigners, man. So it's like they don't really know how shit really happen. I don't really understand how things really get down out here. Everybody's just following everybody for the most part. And that shit don't be working. A lot of robbing and stealing and jacking and scamming. That's just a quick money grab. That ain't no long-term deal. You just have to but you have to know what it is before you even get into those environments, what it is, you know what I'm saying? You can't really expect very much of anything when you're in an environment that's like that. At least I wouldn't. That's why it's a cesspool. It's a cesspool for a reason. That didn't happen by accident. But even within that cesspool, there's still some decent people, though. But you might not find them. That's all I'm saying. You might not find them. And even when you find them decent people within that cesspool, they might be muddy. They might be a little toxic or a little, they might have issues. Just as you can't swim in the mud without getting some mud on you. That's what my grandfather used to tell me. Just go to the white side of South Florida and you have a better chance. No, white women ain't no better. Shit. White women, Becky ain't no better. Becky ain't no better, Charles. Mr. Charles. Shit. A lot of these white women, in my opinion, are worse than the rest of these women. The only difference between the white women is they know how to hide some shit and hold back. But see, one thing about the white women, they can't hold back but so long. The older she get, the more racist she tend to get. And then these women be yelling and screaming on the damn internet. And they turn into Karens. Call them Karens. Hey, the white guys told me that shit. That's the only difference between white women and other groups of women. White women know how to hide and kind of, they'll play that card to the T. But they can't do it but so long. The older she get, she not going to be able to hold it no more. She not going to be able to be nice to your ass no more. And one day she'll just flip the fuck out. And you be like, what the hell wrong with this bitch? And that's when she get to calling you all the niggas and bitch and and then she gonna file for a divorce. And she might even tell you, hey, I can't do it no more. The kids are grown. They about to go to college. We had a good run. I don't like fucking you no more. And that's what's gonna that's what usually look at these athletes. That's what usually happens to a lot of these athletes that get married to white women. When she's young, you good when she's young. And by the time a lot of these guys, let's say you meet a white woman that's 22, you met her in college, and you play football, basketball 10 years or something like that. Man, most of the time when these guys retire, shit, that white woman gonna be gone. She trying to get up out of there. She's like, shit, I can go back to the white community and do better than this, because that money ain't gonna be coming in like it used to when he retired. That money ain't the same once these dudes retire. You go from $200,000 a game, $100,000 a game. And when they retire, that they get like what, 30, 40%, some shit like that. You go from $100,000 a game to $20,000. That money ain't the same. Plus, if he's a star athlete, he ain't on television no more. He's just a regular nigga. Now, most of these guys, when they done with football, retiring or whatever, they go back, go back being a regular dude. You might have money, but they don't really got that status no more. Football is a cutthroat game. The NFL is cutthroat. So, a lot of these white women, they want to be with a guy they'd be like, hey, I better off going back to the white community. Or she might move on to another guy if she's lucky, but she got them black kids with your ass. So now she might give you full custody if she have another guy that's willing to take her in. But if she got them black kids and she's a white woman, ain't too many guys gonna marry her or get with her unless they got kids already. So yeah, Becky ain't too much better. Becky's worse. Shit, the longer you with that, man, the older she get, the more racist they tend to get. But she's nice when she's young, though. Oh man, that's a fine white woman. Shit. Well, you might have a good run with Becky, but long term, that shit it usually don't pan out, man. From what I've been seeing over the past 20, 30 years. I know, and plus a lot of these white women, look how they look when they get older. God damn. What I'm gonna do with this when the time she turned 30, 35, my dick don't even get hard no more. She looking like a road map. Her skin look like a road map. I can't do it, man. I'm sorry. And this is not a shot at white women. They just don't got the DNA. You don't got the good gene like that. Now there's some white women as they get older, they still look good, but that ain't common. That's all I'm saying. I play the long game. You know what I'm saying? Be moved. Yeah, if you move the side, yeah. Yeah, I'm getting up out of it, man. Peace. I'm gone.